Apple just made the $599 MacBook and everybody is talking about the spec, but nobody is talking about what Apple is actually doing here. Because this isn't a laptop, it's a strategy. And honestly, it might be the smartest thing Apple has ever done in recent times. Here is what I think is actually going on. For years, Apple had zero answer to the budget laptop market. Students are buying Chromebooks, new-time laptop buyers are going for a $400 Windows machine, and the cheapest MacBook out there was a MacBook Air, which goes for around $1,000. That is not a starter laptop, that is an investment. The Neo changes everything overnight. So here's a quick rundown of the specs so we're on the same page. So the MacBook Neo starts at $599, but you can get it for $499 if you're a student. It runs the A18 Pro chip, the same chip that runs in the iPhone 16 Pro. 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage for the base model, and 16 hours of battery, and also comes in 4 different colors. Now for $100 more, you can get 512 gigs of storage and a Touch ID. And yes, the base model has no Touch ID, no backlights, keyboard, and one of the only 2 USB ports run USB 2 speed. In 2026, look, we'll come back to that because none of these is by accident. For $499, a college freshman can now walk into the Apple ecosystem for the first time. And here is what Apple knows, but you don't. That college student isn't just buying a laptop. Within a semester, they are buying AirPods because it works better with a Mac. They are choosing the iPhone over an Android because it syncs better with everything. One $499 laptop now turns into a 5 Apple product over the course of 4 years in college. Apple didn't make a cheap MacBook. They built a door. They made it cheap enough for millions of people to walk through it. And this is where it gets uncomfortable for iPad owners. The base iPad costs $349. The keyboard costs $249. That will end you around $598 just for an iPad with a keyboard. The MacBook Neo gives you a raw keyboard, a raw touchpad, a raw file system for basically the same money. Now here is where I need to be real with you. The compromises on the MacBook Neo is not because Apple couldn't do better, but it's by design. 8 gigs of RAM. I had a 16 on my MacBook Pro in college and I needed it. Was running a code editor, browsing 20 tabs at a time with maybe a Spotify in the background. And the 16 did handle it. But with 8 gigs though, I'm not sure. Maybe for browsing, for documenting, for streaming, you will be fine, definitely. But the moment you start demanding a little more from your laptop, you are going to feel it immediately. With a 256 gigs of storage, you'll be managing it constantly. Deleting stuff, uploading stuff to iCloud, being strategic as to things that you need to keep on your machine. I mean, it's doable, but it's uncomfortable. And that is the point. Apple made the Neo good enough to keep you in, but limited enough that in 2-3 years, when your space starts filling up and performance reduces, you are not going back to Windows. You are not switching to Chromebook because by then, your entire workflow is built around Apple. Your files, your app, all of it. So what do? You upgrade to MacBook Air, then the Pro. Apple didn't sell you a laptop. They sold you an experience. And once you've had it, you are not leaving. So who is this actually for? For students, this is a no-brainer. I mean, if you're an engineering student, I would say skip on it. Anyone who needs a machine for browsing, documenting, streaming, this is more than enough. If you code, if you edit videos, if you need to run anything heavy, skip on the Neo. It's not for you. The MacBook Neo is the most interesting thing Apple has ever done in years. Not because of what it is, but because of what it means. Apple just made their ecosystem accessible to millions of people who were never going to spend $1,000 on a laptop. And every single one of them is going to spend more over the next decade. And they won't realize it until it's too late. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. See you on the next one.